Hello. Let's start with the discussion. Today we are going to start inductive effect, right? Previously we have completed all the parts of isomerism, including that conformers, right? So let's start with inductive effect. Inductive effect. It is also known as I effect. It is also known as I effect, right? So before starting the definition, let us try to understand what is actually inductive effect. Let us say I have a carbon chain. And then there is another polarizing group is present. Let's say we have a polarizing group that is NO2, nitro group. Definitely carbon is having 4 valency. I am showing only one. Rest of valencies are satisfied by hydrogen, right? Now one thing we know that electronegativity of this NO2 group, electron pulling ability of this NO2 group is more than carbon. Or you can directly see that there is a carbon nitrogen single covalent bond and electronegativity of nitrogen is more than carbon. So what is happening? We are expecting that if we are forming a covalent bond between two atoms, our expectation is each atom is going to share one electron, and then pair of electron is in between the atom. But in case if any atom is having more electronegativity, then pair of electron will be shifted towards more electronegative atom. Let us say here in this case the electronegativity of nitrogen is more than carbon, so this pair of electron will be more shifted towards the nitrogen. This is not the complete shifting. It is just partial shifting of sigma bond pair electron from the mid position. And if it is shifted towards the nitrogen, definitely electron cloud towards the nitrogen is going to be more, and that particular nitrogen atom is going to acquire some negative charge. That negative charge is represented by delta negative. If this pair of electron was completely shifted, then definitely this nitrogen is going to get complete negative charge. But here in this case, this is not the complete shifting, this is the partial shifting. Next, if the pair of electron is slightly shifted towards the nitrogen and nitrogen is getting delta negative charge, then definitely I can say the electron of carbon is moving away from the carbon atom. So this carbon atom will acquire some positive charge, and that is represented by partial positive charge, delta positive. Definitely the magnitude of these partial charges, partial positive and partial negative, is going to be equal. The reason is the pair of electron, the negative charge appear on nitrogen is because it is pulling the electron of carbon, and the positive charge appeared on carbon is because its electron is moving away. So this partial positive and partial negative magnitude is going to be equal. Now next, what is going to happen if you observe that directly one more thing, let me introduce this carbon atom. The directly attached carbon atom with any particular functional group is known as alpha carbon, and the next carbon is beta carbon, next gamma carbon, next delta, next omega, and so on. So what I am saying, this alpha carbon is getting some partial positive charge, and one thing we know that if alpha carbon is getting some partial positive charge, then its electron pulling tendency is going to increase. But it cannot pull bond pair electron between carbon and nitrogen, because in that case we already know that electronegativity of nitrogen is more. So what is going to happen? This carbon, alpha carbon, is going to pull electron. It is going to pull electron from next nearest covalent bond. So let us say in this case there is a covalent bond between alpha and beta carbon. If there is no polarizing group, if there is no NO2 group in this structure, then definitely the bond pair electron between carbon and carbon is going to be exactly in the middle. But after getting this partial positive charge, that alpha carbon is going to pull bond pair electron from next nearest bond to decrease its electron deficiency. Partial positive charge means this alpha carbon becomes electron deficient, and to decrease its electron deficiency, it is going to pull electron from the bond pair between alpha and beta carbon. And if it happens, the next bond pair electron is again going to move slightly from its mid position. So this alpha carbon is going to have some partial negative charge. It is also having some partial positive charge, but it will get some partial negative charge because the bond pair electron between alpha and beta is going to be shifted towards the alpha carbon. Definitely one thing we know, that the electron pulling power of this nitrogen between alpha carbon and nitrogen atom is more as compared to electron pulling power of alpha carbon to the bond pair electron between alpha and beta, right? Here the electron pulling power of alpha carbon is going to decrease. So there will be some partial negative charge on alpha carbon, but definitely that partial negative charge is going to be less than delta negative appeared on nitrogen. So let us say I am representing it with delta 1 negative, right? Let us say I am representing it delta 1 negative. And if it happens, definitely beta carbon will also acquire some partial positive charge, and it will be definitely equal to delta 1 positive. The numerical value of these two is going to be equal. Next, what is happening? The beta carbon is now becoming electron deficient. This beta carbon also will try to decrease its electron deficiency, but it cannot pull electron back from alpha carbon. So what is happening? The beta carbon will look to the next nearest covalent bond to pull the bond pair electron towards itself, so that its electron deficiency should get decreased. So now the bond pair electron between beta and gamma carbon is going to move towards the beta carbon, and beta carbon will get some partial negative charge. Let us say it is represented by delta 2 negative, and in similar fashion this gamma carbon is going to acquire delta 2 positive. Now if you talk about the magnitude, definitely the magnitude of delta is more than delta 1, and the magnitude of delta 1 is going to more than delta 2. It is just because the electron withdrawing power, electron pulling power is going to decrease along the carbon chain, right? So what is happening, and further if you see that gamma carbon is going to be electron deficient, it is going to pull electron from next nearest bond between gamma and delta, right? So this effect, this electron withdrawing effect is going to propagate through the carbon chain, right? First thing you should keep in mind that the partial charges appeared on atom is continuously decreasing as we move away from the polarizing group, right? That numerical value is definitely going to decrease, and it is said that if you are studying inductive effect, after the third carbon, this is the alpha carbon, beta carbon, gamma carbon, you can say after gamma carbon, the electron pulling power is going to be neglected. It will be very, very less. The reason behind that, if you observe, the electron withdrawing power of nitrogen was more than alpha carbon. The electron withdrawing power of alpha carbon is more than beta carbon, means electron withdrawing power is continuously decreasing. So it is said that after third carbon it will be very, very weak. And there is one more reason, because the shifting of electron is very, very less. It is just shifted from the mid position, and the pair of electron which is shifting is sigma electron, and sigma bond pair electrons are strongly held by two atoms, right? So that is why it is said the electron redistribution, or you can say electron pulling power is going to be neglected after gamma carbon. Now we can understand the definition of inductive effect. If you are clear with this example, you can understand the definition of inductive effect, right? So let us start writing the definition. Definition of inductive effect. It is said that the imbalance of electron, the imbalance of electron caused by polarizing group forces the carbon atom to seek electron from next nearest covalent bond, and this effect propagate through carbon chain, The redistribution of electron because of polarizing group, the redistribution of electron because of polarizing group is known as inductive effect. That is known as inductive effect. We have seen in the example that if we are placing any polarizing group, that is going to pull electron from the alpha carbon, and then in that case alpha carbon will become electron deficient. And then now next is if alpha carbon is becoming electron deficient, it will seek electron from the next covalent bond which that carbon is having, and that effect is going to propagate through the carbon chain, and that redistribution of electron through the sigma bond which is taking place in the carbon chain is known as inductive effect. That redistribution, that appearance of partial positive, partial negative charge in the carbon chain is known as inductive effect, right? You should note down the important point regarding this. The important point is, one of the important point is inductive effect goes on decreasing as we move away from polarizing group, right? As we move away from the polarizing group, the inductive effect is going to decrease. Next, the inductive effect is neglected after the third carbon. After the third carbon from polarizing group. From polarizing group. These two are important points based on definition. You should be clear with these 2 points. I hope it is clear to you. Just make a note of it. And now, next we are going to discuss the type of inductive effect, right? So let's start. Type of inductive effect. Types of inductive effect. Inductive effect. Now, if you observe the previous example that we were taking, it was a carbon chain and then one polarizing group, which is NO2 is attached, and since NO2 is having more electronegativity, it is having more tendency to pull the bond pair electron. Nitrogen is going to get some partial negative charge, alpha carbon will get some partial positive charge, and then if alpha carbon becomes electron deficient after getting the partial positive charge, it will pull the bond pair electron from the next carbon bond, carbon-carbon sigma bond. It will get some partial let's say it is delta 1 negative charge, and beta carbon will get delta 1 positive charge. Next, if there is partial positive charge on beta carbon, it will pull electron from the next bond pair electron. So it is going to be delta 2 negative and delta 2 positive and so on, right? Just observe one thing. Observe one thing in this example. We are having two different parts. One is of NO2 and another one is of carbon chain. If you observe the NO2 part, there is overall there is a partial negative charge. Overall there is a partial negative charge. What is happening? I can say one thing. This NO2 group, polarizing group, is withdrawing electron from this carbon chain, and if you observe this carbon chain, what is going to happen? Just observe the alpha carbon. Alpha carbon is having delta positive and delta 1 negative. Earlier I was discussing the numerical value of delta is more than delta 1. So overall there will be some partial positive charge on alpha carbon. Similarly, if you observe this beta carbon, delta 1 is positive and delta 2 is negative, and the numerical value of delta 2 is less than delta 1. So that beta carbon is also getting some partial positive charge. So overall, what can I say? This carbon chain is going to have positive charge, right? And this polarizing group is having negative charge. So the portion or polarizing group which is withdrawing the electron, it is known as electron withdrawing group. It is known as electron withdrawing group. And here the carbon chain is actually overall, this carbon chain is donating its electron towards the nitro group. So this carbon chain is known as electron donating group, or it is known as electron releasing group. It is known as electron donating group or electron releasing group. And this NO2 is known as the portion of molecule which is withdrawing electron is known as electron withdrawing group, right? Based on the nature of two group we have in inductive effect, the inductive effect is divided in two parts. Inductive effect itself is divided in two parts. One is plus I effect or plus I group. Second one is minus I effect and minus I group. So first we are going to write it is plus I group and plus I effect, right? So if you want to understand what is plus I group and plus I effect, we can say that the portion of molecule which is donating its sigma bond pair electron are known as electron releasing group, electron donating group, and that particular group is known as plus I group. And because of donation of electron from the plus I group, effect appeared in the compound, redistribution of electron effect appeared in the compound is known as plus I effect. So let us write the definition. the part of molecule which donate electron through sigma bond is known as plus I group, or same plus I group is known as electron donating group, electron releasing group, known as plus I group, and the effect of donation of electron through the carbon chain is known as plus I effect, right? That is known as plus I effect. See, we have a series of atom or group of atom which is showing plus I effect. You have to remember that series. You do not have any choice. You have to remember the order of power of electron donation by any atom or group of atom, because if you are unable to remember, unable to memorize that series, it will be very difficult to solve the problem, right? So I hope you are clear with the definition of plus I group and plus I effect. And if you want example of it, just write the previous example that I was written, and in that the carbon chain is donating the electron, right? So that carbon chain will be plus I group, and the effect of donation of electron is plus I effect. So let us write the series of plus I group electron donation ability. Series is it is first one is O minus. This single valency is showing this particular atom is attached. This particular species is attached through a particular carbon chain or any another atom or group of atom. So maximum plus I effect, maximum electron donation ability through the sigma bond by using inductive effect is of O minus. Then it is carboxylate group. Next, it is actually 3-degree carbon atom. It is 3-degree carbon atom. Next, it is 2-degree carbon atom, 2-degree methyl group or 2-degree carbon atom. Next, it is 1-degree carbon atom. Here it is ethyl, and next I am writing methyl, right? That means from here we can also conclude that from last two, we can conclude that if the degree is same, if you observe the carbon atom which is going to join with some other series or with some another atom is 1 degree, and here the carbon is also 1 degree, right? So what I am saying, if the degree of alkyl group is same, you can say more is the number of carbon atom, more is the electron donation ability. I'll give you the statement, right? So ethyl, methyl, then you can write it is tritium, isotope of hydrogen, next deuterium, and next it is protium, right? This is the series of power of electron donation ability by using inductive effect. This series you have to remember. You do not have any choice. So what I am saying, let us write some key point about this series. One statement is if the degree of carbon atom is same, Carbon atom, which carbon atom? You can say it is alpha carbon atom, which is going to be directly attached with the particular chain or functional group. If the degree of alpha carbon is same, then more is the number of carbon atom, more is the plus I power. Plus means electron donation ability, right? So in this context, you can write the example. Let us say if I have propyl group and ethyl group, and it is asked which group is having more electron donation ability. You can observe both for the both alpha carbon the degree is 1. Propyl group is going to have 3 carbon atom, while ethyl group is going to have 2 carbon atom. Definitely the plus I power of propyl group will be more than ethyl group, right? So this is the important statement that you should remember. Next, one more thing. If you observe the degree now, here the alpha carbon is 3 degree and next one is 2 degree, and if you observe the series, the next one is 1 degree. So you can keep in mind, if degree is changing, then plus I power of alkyl group 3 degree will be more than 2 degree, and then it will be more than 1 degree, right? This is also important. Just keep in mind these two important points and also the series, then only problem can be solved. This was our plus I group and plus I effect. The next part is second type of inductive effect is minus I group and minus I effect. It is minus I group and minus I effect. To understand this minus I group and minus I effect, I will start with the similar definition that we have written for the plus I group and plus I effect. It is the atom or group of atom which is having tendency to pull the electron from the sigma bond pair electron is known as minus I group, or that is also known as electron withdrawing group, and the effect of withdrawal of electron from that particular atom or group of atom is known as minus I effect. So let us write the definition. The atom or group of atom or group of atom which withdraw electron is from sigma bond pair electron, is known as minus I group, and that is also known as what? Electron withdrawing group. And the effect of withdrawal of electron is known as minus I effect, right? For example, you can take the same example that I was written earlier. In that particular compound, the NO2 group, the polarizing group, is actually withdrawing the electron. That NO2 group is what? Electron withdrawing group, or you may say it is that is minus I group. And the effect of withdrawal of electron, that is redistribution of electron in sigma bond pair electron through the carbon chain, is known as minus I effect. I hope you are clear with the definition. Very similar to that plus I effect, we are also having a series of electron withdrawing power from the sigma bond pair electron. That series is known as minus I is group series, right? So let us write the order of electron withdrawal ability. The first one is Nr3 plus. One thing I want to clear you. This series is specifically minus I group series is very important for competition point of view, because many times it happened that they are giving some groups and they are asking what is the order of electron withdrawing ability. So direct question can be asked based on this series, so you must remember this series, right? So first one is Nr3 plus, next it is Sr2 plus, next one is NS3 plus, next is NO2, next is Cn, cyanide, or you may say nitrile. Next is it is aldehyde, CHO. Next is acid. Next you can write it is halogen, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine. And the next one is OR, ether group. Next is alcoholic group. Next one is triple bond, alkyne. Next is phenyl group, benzene, C6H5 it is. Sometimes it is represented by pH, or sometimes it is simply benzene ring with one valency free, right? Next is alkene, and the next one is hydrogen. That you should keep in your mind. Many times they are directly asking a question based on this series, right? So you may add one more group. After this NO2 group. After this NO2 you can add sulfonic acid, SO3H, then cyanide, right? That is also important. Sulfonic group is also important. So just remember this series. And one thing also I want to say that this series is not purely based on electronegativity of atom which is directly attached with carbon chain. You cannot say that nitrogen electronegativity is more than other atoms. No, that is not actually happening. So the conclusion is this series is not purely based on electronegativity. Actually this is experimentally determined, and how the experiment is done. The reference one is hydrogen. This is our reference. Just attach this hydrogen atom with the different groups and then measure the extent of shifting of sigma bond pair electron. Based on that particular experiment, this order is given the same, that both order plus I group and minus I group, both order is given based on the experiment. It is not directly based on electronegativity. You should be very clear about that, right? Now we are clear with the inductive effect, definition of inductive effect, types of inductive effect. It is plus I effect, minus I effect, and also the series. Now this time to start the application of inductive effect. Now it is the time to start application of inductive effect, and it is going to be very important, because most of the question are based on application, not on theory. So let's start application of application of inductive effect. Inductive effect. First one is stability of ion. Either it is cation or anion, doesn't matter. We can decide the order of stability of ion by using inductive effect, right? So one thing I want to ask. Let's say I have two charge. One is, let's say, 10 coulomb charge, 10 coulomb, let's say, positive charge, and another one is 1 coulomb positive charge. If it is asked which charge is going to be more stable, which charge is going to be more stable, be very clear with your fundamentals. If this very simple question is clear to you, its answer is clear to you, then it is very easy, it is going to be very easy for you. So if it is asked, I am having two charge, 10 coulomb and 1 coulomb, which is more stable, definitely stability wise 1 coulomb charge is more stable, right? If you will find the stability, the correct answer is 1 coulomb charge is more stable. And let us try to understand why. Let's say you are having 2 point charges and you are placing it in open environment. Definitely, if these are positive charges, these are going to attract the negative charges or repel the positive charges too. So let's say one more thing, we are having minus q charge in open environment. 10 coulomb charge is going to have a strong, very strong electric field as compared to 1 coulomb charge. Definitely, if charge is more, electric field will be more, electric field will be more stronger. So this 10 coulomb charge will apply more force on this minus q charge. And if this minus q charge is having more force towards the 10 coulomb charge, it will move faster, and finally what is going to happen, this minus charge is going to collide with 10 coulomb charge. Just imagine, if this minus q charge is going to collide with plus 10 q charge, the identity of this 10 coulomb charge will be lost. The moment this minus q charge will collide with 10 coulomb charge, the identity of 10 coulomb charge is going to be lost. While the electric field of 1 coulomb charge is going to be weak, and it will apply very less force on this minus q charge as compared to definitely plus q, as compared to plus 10 coulomb charge, it is going to apply less force. So the movement of this minus q charge towards this 1 coulomb charge will be very, very slow. So what can I say? The identity of this 1 coulomb charge will be much longer than this 10 coulomb charge. So if it is asked which charge is more stable, definitely if it is asked which charge is more stable, the charge which is having its own identity for a longer duration, that charge will be definitely more stable. So 1 coulomb charge is going to be more stable. So conclusion is lesser is the magnitude of charge, more will be the stability of charge, and it is very, very important, right? So let's write the statement in application part, stability of ion. Lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability, right? Lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability. Let's take an example. Let's say if I have the situation like this, the first carbon is getting some negative charge and one NO2 group is attached at second carbon. And let's take one example also, one more example, in that first carbon is getting negative charge and second carbon, let's say it is attached with Cl, right? So if these two species are given and it is asked which one is going to be more stable, in this case, one more thing, one important thing, to solve the problem, you have to follow these steps. That if you are given two or more species and asked for the stability, never use your mind which is common in the compounds, because if the portion which is already common, it is equal for both. We are going to use our mind from there where it is different, right? It is different. One compound is containing NO2, another compound is containing cyanide, right? So this NO2 and Cn both are using its inductive effect, and both are actually minus I group. We have written in the series, just refer the series. Both are using its minus I effect, right? And also the minus I effect of NO2 is more than Ca. So let us try to understand. If this NO2 is applying minus I power, it will pull electron from its alpha carbon, right, which is directly attached with NO2 group. So there will be some partial positive charge on alpha carbon. Now this alpha carbon will try to decrease its electron deficiency by pulling electrons from next nearest bond pairs. So it is having two bond pair electron. It will pull electron from both sides. It will pull electron from both sides. Now just think, if it is pulling the electron from left side and this pair of electron is slightly shifted towards the alpha carbon, there will be some partial positive charge on the carbon which is already containing negative charge. So overall what is going to happen? That negative charge will get decreased. One more thing is that if it is asked to compare the stability, we need to check the stability of these negative charges, right? So NO2 is withdrawing electron and this partial positive charge is going to decrease. Similarly, Cn also is going to apply minus I effect, and this negative charge, numerical value of negative charge is going to decrease. But in which case the decrement of negative charge will be more? Definitely NO2 is applying more minus I power, so decrement in first case will be more, while in second case relatively will be less. Here the arrow is larger as compared to the second one. So in first case the decrement of negative charge, numerical value of decrement of negative charge will be more, while in second one the decrement of negative charge, numerical value of decrement of negative charge will be less. So at the end, if you compare the stability, our universal fact is lesser is the magnitude. It is written magnitude. So magnitude will be lesser in first case because it is more decreasing. So magnitude will be lesser. So lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability. That is why the first one is going to be more stable as compared to the second one, right? Now let's take one more example. Then I'll give you some key points to solve the problems. Let's take one more question. Similar situation. If I am having positive charge on first carbon, then what will happen? If we are having positive charge on first carbon. Now, both are electron withdrawing, NO2 and Cn. This is the point of difference. We will use our mind only where there is difference in the compounds. So we'll compare the minus I power of these two NO2, because NO2 is both NO2 and Cn both are using minus I power. Definitely minus I power of NO2 is going to be more than Cn. NO2 will withdraw electron from the alpha carbon, and then alpha carbon further will withdraw electron from adjacent carbon atom. So if this alpha carbon is pulling electron from positively charged carbon atom, we are pulling electron from positively charged carbon atom, its positive charge is going to be increased. And in the second case also, Cn is electron withdrawing, and here also positive charge is going to be increased. But the increment in positive charge will be more in first case, because withdrawing power of NO2 is more than Cn. So again we are going to use our universal fact, that is more is the magnitude of charge, lesser is the stability. The magnitude of charge is definitely more in first case. So first one is going to be less stable, right? More is the magnitude of charge, lesser is the stability. Here if you are withdrawing the electron, the magnitude of positive charge is going to increase. So more is the charge, lesser is the stability. Use that fundamental statement, use that universal fact, right? Now we have seen that stability of carbocation, carbanion in first case, carbocation in second case, when electron withdrawing groups are attached. Now the conclusion is, if you observe in the first case, there was carbanion and NO2 was more electron withdrawing group, and in that case NO2 attached carbanion was more stable. In case of carbocation, NO2 attached carbocation was less stable. I can say one thing. Conclusion is, key point to solve the question is electron withdrawing group, or you can say minus I group. Electron withdrawing group or minus I group stabilizes carbanion or any anion, or you may write any anion, carbanion or anion, right? Next point is electron withdrawing group, that is minus I group, destabilizes carbocation or cation, any other cation also. If you are having positive charge in a compound and electron withdrawing groups are attached, that particular positive charge is going to be, that particular species is going to be destabilized. If the negative charge is present on the species and you are attaching electron withdrawing group, that particular species negative charge is going to be stabilized, right? It is important. Now similar fact we can write for electron donating group also. Let's see the case. If I have like, let's say it is negative charge, and here we are having 2-methyl and negative charge. These are the two situations, and it is asked which negative charge is more stable. Now see, the common portion, in the common portion we are not going to use our mind, right? The only difference is the second one is having hydrogen instead of carbon, right? And we know that earlier I was concluded the alkyl group or carbon containing group, the nature of alkyl group is electron donating. With respect to hydrogen, I am saying this statement with respect to hydrogen. I am just comparing the point of difference. With respect to hydrogen atom, we are having carbon in first case, and with respect to hydrogen atom, alkyl group is having electron donation ability. And if it is donating the electron, the negative charge will increase in first case. While hydrogen is what? Hydrogen is reference. It is neither going to pull or donate electron, right? So definitely from these two, we can say that if you are having electron withdrawing group now, sorry, electron donating group now, it is going to increase the negative charge. So more is the magnitude, lesser is the stability. Stability wise, definitely second is going to be more stable. Stability. So I can conclude that electron donating group destabilizes the negative charge. In similar way, if I am writing carbocation, let's say it is positive charge and the second one is having 2-degree carbocation, right? And we need to compare the stability of these two. Again, I'll compare the point of difference. Second one is having hydrogen while first one is having carbon. Definitely carbon alkyl group is having tendency to donate electron, and electron donation ability of carbon is much more than hydrogen, so it is going to donate electron, and if electron is donated, that positive charge is going to be decreased, and lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability. Here it is hydrogen, it is neither going to donate or withdraw electron. So stability wise, in this case, the first one is going to be more stable. So overall, what I am going to conclude, electron donating group is going to stabilize carbocation, while electron donating group is going to destabilize the carbanion, right? So let us write the conclusion. Remember, these statements are very important for problem solving. Point is, electron donating group, that is plus I group, stabilizes carbocation or any other cation, while destabilizes carbanion or any other anion, right? These statements are very useful to solve the problem. So overall conclusion is, lesser is the magnitude of charge, more is the stability. So I am going to write some question, just try to solve that. I am going to write some question, just try to solve that. If I have first one, let us say it is a carbon chain and fluorine positive charge, fluorine on third carbon atom, next fluorine on fourth carbon atom. The first one, we need to find the stability, order of stability of cation, right? Second one, let's say I have negative charge, fluorine, negative charge, the first one, second one, third one is negative charge with 1 CH3. If you want to find the stability of a species given in these two questions, first one, there is a application of statement which was given in definition, right? The definition was, in definition portion, one statement was given. As we move away from polarizing group, inductive effect decreases and it is neglected after third carbon. That was the statement we have written. And if you compare in the first one, the only point of difference is position of fluorine. Position of fluorine is changing, right? We know that fluorine is having electron donation ability, right? Fluorine is minus I group. So minus I group is going to destabilize the carbocation, the statement we have written earlier. So if we see the third, if we see the third compound, this is the third one. The distance of this fluorine from the carbocation is farthest. So fluorine statement is electron withdrawing group will destabilize the carbocation. So if it is closer to the carbocation, it will more destabilize. If we away from the carbocation, it is going to less destabilize. So most stable is going to be third one. Or you can go fundamentally with the fact that fluorine here, it is on second carbon atom, fluorine is withdrawing the electron, and then this alpha carbon will further pull the electron from next to carbon atom, the positive charge is going to be increased. Similar in the second case, but in second case the electron withdrawal ability of beta carbon, now it is beta carbon which is pulling the electron from carbocation. So electron withdrawal power ability will get decreased, so the increment of positive charge will be less. And now in the third one, it is alpha, beta, gamma carbon is going to pull electron from the carbocation. The increment of charge is very less, right? Use the statement, more is the magnitude of charge, lesser is the stability. So this will be the stability order. Now the second question is, if you observe, the point of difference is on second carbon atom, first compound is having fluorine, second one is having hydrogen, and third one is having CH3, right? And the species is negatively charged. We know the fact that electron withdrawing group minus I group is going to stabilize the negative charge. So first one will be more stable. And CH3 is nature of CH3 with respect to hydrogen is electron donation. So electron donating group is going to destabilize the negative charge, and hydrogen is what? Reference. So most stable is first one, then hydrogen reference, then destabilize. Stabilizing group, reference group, and then destabilizing group. So correct answer for this question is 1, 2, 3, right? So there are so many questions based on stability of carbocation and carbocation in which inductive effect will be used. Next time I'll start with some more problems and some more fact about inductive effect. For today's class, this is it. Let's meet in next class, right? Bye bye.